Welcome in if you are a first time viewer. Welcome back if you are a returning viewer. Thank you for your likes, your comments, your subscribes, and to those of you who have booked a personal reading with me. Please keep in mind that these are general messages, so do not take them personally. Take the messages that resonate and leave the rest behind. So let's do a September forecast to see what is the energy surrounding the month of September. Helping to articulate a clear and concise message in order for it to be received in the way that you want it to best be received. Help me to see what it is that I need to see to get the message across as clear as possible. And help me to deliver any messages that you deem worthy in order to serve your highest good, for the highest good of humanity with harm to none. What messages do you have for the collective at this time regarding the energy surrounding the month of September? So you have forgiveness, patience, acceptance, and envy at the bottom of the deck. So there's definitely the energy of grace surrounding the month of September, right? Where you are being asked to look at things from a different perspective. You're being asked to kind of open your mind to a different level of understanding when it comes to the things that you are investing in, right? It's asking you to be aware of what it is that you are allowing within your reality, right? Being aware of what it is that you are accepting in the receiving energy, right? What is it that you are again receiving that is causing you so much anxiousness, right? What is it that is causing you that sense of anxiety? What is it that you feel is adding pressure, right? What is it that you feel is putting you in a space of resistance, right? And acknowledging the areas in how you can release that tension, right? Acknowledging the areas in how you can contribute to the free flowing state within those aspects, right? Not contributing to the, how can I put it into words? Not contributing to the resistance, right? Not pushing back, not feeling like you have to go into a sense of defensiveness, but also allowing yourself to open yourself up to a different layer of perspective and again, being more receptive in what it is that you are taking action towards in order to contribute to how things flow within a specific scenario, right? This can be within your career. This can be within a certain mindset that you're having, right? How are you creating resistance within making changes within your reality, right? How are you creating resistance within battling certain negative thoughts, right? How are you creating resistance within releasing yourself from certain addictions or certain habits that are no longer contributing to your growth, right? So, again, allowing yourself to have that space of forgiveness within yourself, right? Learning to accept the truth of the reality. And again, that comes with being open minded, right? So just because something is truthful, that doesn't mean that it's meant to harm you. It just means that it's being shown to you in a way so that you are able to make accurate changes, so that you're able to contribute to your growth and expansion within a certain aspect, right? So again, this can contribute to a certain lifestyle that you have, right? Maybe you're trying to release yourself from a certain lifestyle, but you keep finding yourself repeating the same cycles, right? So how are you, what mindsets, what thoughts, what friendships, what habits, what addictions, what circumstances do you keep putting yourself in to contribute to the cycle of remaining within that level of stagnancy, right? How are you, again, that doesn't mean, it just, again, is just being mindful about what it is that you're accepting within your reality and how it is adding and what value it's adding to your life, right? So clarify forgiveness. I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. I accept that everything happens in divine order. I am learning to accept the things that I cannot change, and I am the same as everybody but with different challenges, right? So again, just learning to have grace for yourself and knowing that, you know, maybe some things are just for a season, right? Some things are, or let's just pull some tarot, because the energy is kind of like, again, it's kind of like a resistance energy where it's almost as if like I'm trying to rationalize negative mindsets, or trying to rationalize bad habits, or trying to rationalize certain circumstances that you keep finding yourself in, so that you can tell yourself or make yourself feel better for existing in within that level of comfortability, right? Versus acknowledging the truth of a situation for what it is and how you're creating resistance within the flow state of that area, so that you don't have to feel uncomfortable within that level of growth, right? I hope that makes sense. Clarify forgiveness. Look, change, cycles, the tower. You cannot make this up. Look, and the lovers. Again, so something is meant, look, to bring balance within your reality. Something is crumbling, right? The foundation of something is being torn down, right? So again, whether this is a mindset, whether this is habits that you have, whether this is circles that you find yourself in, whether this is environments that you keep contributing to that are not leveling out to the value in which you pour into them, right? So again, this is something is being torn down so that you have the ability to bring balance into whatever it is. The Justice card is law and order. It's cause and effect. It's you contributing to these negative mindsets, so you are ultimately tearing down whatever the dreams that you have, the visions that you have, because instead of taking actions towards the dreams, instead of taking action towards the visions in which you see growth, you're continuously existing within that same cycle of stagnancy, right? So again, the visions or the dreams that you aspire to achieve are no longer going to be able to form into existence because you're not contributing to that aspect of growth. On another hand, if you are taking action towards growth, this is those negative mindsets, this is those friendships, this is those circles, this is those environments that don't contribute to your growth. This is you being made aware of the things that you need to let go of in order for you to receive balance in an area in which you're trying to receive abundance and wealth from. Right? So it can apply to you in either way, right? Take it how it resonates. It's going to resonate for each of you differently. But you're definitely being called to make yourself aware in which the areas of your life need to be torn down, right? Again, what cycles are you investing in that are no longer contributing to your growth? What mindsets do you keep feeding that are ultimately restricting you? Right? What habits or addictions do you keep feeding that keep putting you within these negative cycles that ultimately, the tower is like the foundation of something is falling, right? So when the foundation of old cycles or old habits, which is the world card, right? The world card speaks to new realities. It speaks to the cycles in which you find yourself in, right? It's not necessarily it's not necessarily karma, because the wheel of fortune speaks to karma, but the world card definitely speaks to lifestyles. It speaks to the cycles you find yourself in. It speaks to the lessons that you have had to learn, right? Are you continuously putting yourself in a situation where you're having to learn the same lesson over and over and over again because you're unwilling to look at yourself and to accept what it is that you need to change, or what it is that you need to accept the truth of, in order to receive justice and balance within your life, within your existence, within your reality, right? What is it that you need to change within yourself? What areas of growth do you need to accept within yourself, right? What areas of resistance are holding you back in order to create this, again, blockage from receiving the justice and the balance in which you are trying to create within your life, right? You can't ask for balance in your life and you are only feeding one aspect. You're only feeding the negative thoughts. You're only feeding the negative habits, right? If you want growth and expansion in your life, you have to look at the acknowledgement, you have to accept the things that you need to change, and you have to take action to put forth the necessary efforts in order to make those changes, in order for you to create this new cycle in which you're trying to exist within, right? Again, you can't envision a certain lifestyle within your mind and exist within a completely different lifestyle within your physical reality, right? That's misalignment, right? Which is going to create chaos. It's going to create confusion. It's going to create this tower moment. It's going to create challenges. It's going to create resistance. And essentially, it's going to create a sense of envy, not towards other people, but maybe you may project that energy onto other people, in which you really have for yourself, because you are the one who is choosing to make certain choices. You're the one who are choosing to make certain decisions. You are the one who is continuing to exist within a certain reality in which you know is no longer benefiting to your growth and expansion, right? So definitely be mindful with that energy, right? Clarify patience. The Eight of Cups and the Temperance with the Page of Pentacles, right? So again, understanding what it is that you need to let go of so that you have the ability to create, right? Temperance represents patience. It represents alchemy. It represents allowing things in your life to make changes over time, but also giving yourself the grace for having to learn those lessons, giving yourself the grace and understanding for why you have to let go of certain things that are no longer contributing to your growth. Because if you continue to pour into things that are not pouring the same value into you. Again, whether you're feeding negative mindsets, but those negative mindsets are only creating negative circumstances within your life, because it puts you in this energy of feeling uninspired, right? So you're feeding negative thoughts that ultimately don't feed your life, because again, you don't feel motivated to do anything. You don't feel the desire to change, right? You don't feel the need to make a shift or to accept certain or face certain challenges and fears, right? Because of the negative mindset that you're feeding, right? It puts you in this negative cycle. Whereas if you were feeding positive thoughts, right, you would have the desire to make changes. You would have the desire to remain motivated and inspired to create and to move forward towards the things that you are wishing to achieve, right? You wouldn't feel that level of jealousy within yourself, because you are feeding something that is adding value to you, right? Whether, again, this can be negative habits, right? Maybe you have negative addictions that, again, leave you feeling motivated, right? Whether that be drinking, whether that be smoking, whether that be eating, bad eating habits, poor exercise or physical habits, right? So again, you are feeding things that, again, don't make you feel motivated, don't make you feel inspired. They don't encourage your growth. They don't encourage you to face your fears. But again, putting yourself within the acknowledgement of the importance of letting these things go and the value of how learning these new lessons can contribute to your growth. Look, the tower is back. It was underneath the Page of Pentacles, right? So again, what is it that you need to let go of that's keeping you from moving forward? What is it that you are so afraid to accept within a certain area because you are holding on to something that's no longer benefiting you, right? The Eight of Cups moves towards the Nine of Cups, right? Within the Eight of Cups, it's an unfulfilled energy, right? Because you are walking away from something in which you thought was healing you, but in a sense it was hurting you, right? Because it's walking towards calmer waters. So existing within that energy of chaos, existing within that energy of hesitation, within your fears, within not accepting, again, things that are not fulfilling to you. It's almost as if you just have to learn how to transform and transmute that energy, right? Because just because you have to let go of something, that doesn't mean that you are losing, right? Because the Eight of Cups moves on to the Nine of Cups, in which the Nine of Cups is fulfilled, right? They have everything that they desire. They have everything that they deserve. They don't want for nothing. They don't want for nothing. They don't need for anything, because they have accepted this level of self-reflection. They have chosen to, or made the choice to choose themselves, to love themselves, to accept themselves for the subconscious and the conscious, the dark and the lights, the fears and the hesitations, right? The things that they need to overcome, the things that they wish to achieve, and the lessons that they have had to learn in order to get to this point, right? So there's a level of acceptance that you're being asked to acknowledge. There's a level of growth that you are being asked to accept, right? September is going to make you aware in which the areas in which you still are learning lessons. It's looking at the areas in which, where have you planted seeds, right, that have not benefited or contributed to your growth and expansion, right? Where have you planted seeds of heartbreak? Where have you planted seeds of negative mindsets? Where have you planted seeds of lack? Where have you planted seeds of fulfillment? Where have you planted seeds of desire, right? And how can you transform, right? How can you move that energy so that it is able to produce the results that you're hoping to receive from it? Again, that may mean that you will have to let go of something that you think is fulfilling to you. However, it's not, because all of these cups are empty, right? In most decks, these cups are cracked. These cups are broken, and there's only two cups left standing, right? So definitely being mindful in the areas in which um, there's nothing left to receive from, right? There's no sense of return. There's no sense of growth. There's no sense of change. There's no sense of grace, patience, willingness, right? So definitely be aware of those things, right? And one card for clarify acceptance. Clarify acceptance. Mm-hmm. The Nine of Swords, the Ace of Wands, and the Empress. What are you receiving? What are you giving birth to, right? Are you giving birth to the fears that you have, right? Are you giving birth to a world that contributes to your fears? Are you giving birth to a world that contributes to your anxieties? Are you giving birth to your worst nightmare? Or are you accepting your fears? Are you acknowledging the areas in which you need growth and which you need changes? Are you acknowledging the areas in which you need to fulfill certain desires so that you are able to, again, feel inspired, feel that sense of motivation, right? What is it that you're creating? How are you creating it, right? How does it leave you feeling inspired, right? Or are you just accepting those quick flames, those sudden sparks, right? Because sparks don't make you feel warm. Sparks don't make you feel safe and secure, right? It's the fire that burns consistently that makes you feel warm. It makes you feel secure. It makes you feel inspired. It makes you feel safe. That the consistent burn is what feeds you, right? Sparks only provide a moment. They only provide an instance, right? They only provide they don't provide much of anything, right? It exists and then it doesn't, right? So again, are you contributing to aspects of your life that exist but they don't really feed you? Or are you giving yourself the warmth, the inspiration, the motivation, the continuous drive, the continuous burn, the consistent flame that will provide clarity? It will provide, again, that warmth and that sense of security that will ultimately feed the things in which you are trying to give birth to, right? Because you can't heat up marshmallows on a spark, right? That's not going to feed you. It's not going to warm up anything. It's not going to heat up anything, right? You can feed yourself. You can make dinner. You can provide. You can protect, right? You can give clarity within a consistent flame, right? Within a consistent feeding of the fire, right? So let's pull 4 cards. 1 card for what we can learn as the major lesson of this message. 1 card for the opportunities we can create surrounding this message. 1 card for what we can meditate on as the focus of this message. And 1 card for new habits and cycles that we can contribute to continue our growth and expansion surrounding this message, right? So yeah, the month of September is definitely going to ask you, what are you feeding, right? Are you existing in the energy of a spark? Or are you feeding a fire that's going to protect you, that's going to provide for you, that's going to bring you clarity, that's going to provide you warmth, right? Which means that you may have to look, right? Because if you look at this card, it's almost as if this wand is making you aware of your fears. This wand is making you aware of the areas in which you have anxiety, right? It's making you aware of how your nightmares are becoming a reality, right? So definitely be aware of that. You can't see certain things, right? You're not going to be able to see in the dark with a spark, right? A sparkler is not going to provide enough light that gives you guidance in where you are meant to move on your journey, right? Whereas a consistent flame, right, is going to give you that light that's going to show you every step that you need to take in order to move towards the journey in which you're trying to create, right? The vision in which you're trying to bring to life, right? You can't find your way through a dark tunnel with a sparkler. You need something that's going to provide a firm flame, a consistent source of light in order to be able to see clearly the vision in which you're trying to create. Otherwise, the sparkler is going to give you illusions, right? Because it's going to keep you in that dark space. But that spark of light is going to provide you with just an instance of clarity, which ultimately will contribute to your confusion, because your mind will be left to create illusions of the things you're seeing because you don't have a clear sense of direction. So mentally you're going to have to create a path from those clear instances that you're receiving, in which you're receiving light, versus if you have a consistent burning flame, you will have the full vision, so you will know what steps you need to take consistently, right? I hope that's making sense. One card for what we can learn as the major lesson. Star Keeper. You got the love at the bottom of the deck, right? See the light by staying grounded, right? Exactly what I was just talking about. Learning how to create that consistent source of light. Learning how to create that consistent source of clarity, that consistent burning flame. Again, she's receiving information because there is a consistent source of light. She's grounded in which she is able to open herself up to receive, right? You have to ground yourself, right? Put yourself in a firm position. If you are existing within that spark energy, right? Again, that can be your mindset, that can be your habits, that can be your lifestyle, that can be certain addictions that you feed, right? That can be certain relationships that you exist in, right? However, again, not remaining grounded, not being firm in what it is that you are desiring to create, you're not going to receive that level of clarity, right? You're not going to receive that clear vision. You're not going to receive that knowledge. You're not going to receive that guidance that you're searching for, because again, you are creating your own illusions by relighting the spark, right? Relighting the spark over and over and over again, right? It's not feeding anything. So the lesson here is, again, learning how to not be codependent on your fears. Learning how to not be codependent on grounding yourself. Learning how to not be codependent on existing within the energies of accepting challenges, right? Because challenges bring resistance, right? So again, learning how to not be codependent within existing in that resistance energy, because if you're resisting, you're not creating flow. If you are resisting growth, you are not going to experience wealth. You're not going to experience abundance because you are putting a blockage up. You're creating a boundary, greed, in which you are able to receive, right? So definitely be mindful of that. September is definitely going to emphasize that energy, right? One card for the opportunities we can create regarding this message. one card for the opportunities we can create regarding this message. Protection, loyalty, safety, trust. Called. It's time to step up. This is the door, right? This is the world card. The September is going to make you aware, like, are you going to make the changes? Are you going to continue to feed your negative habits? Or are you going to step into your faith and make the changes, right? Are you going to set the boundaries? Are you going to remain firm? Are you going to step into that energy of groundedness? Are you going to step into the energy of aligning your mind, your body, your soul, right? Or are you going to mentally have a specific vision, spiritually feel a specific passion and desire, and physically exist within an opposing reality, right? Or are you going to create that space of protection? Are you going to create that consistent flame that provides that clarity in which you are seeking? Are you going to place that level of protection around your mind, your body, and your spirit, and so which you are able to put yourself in the energy of safety and security, right? Loyalty to yourself. What is it that you're being loyal to? Are you being loyal to resistance? Are you being loyal to remaining stagnant? Are you being loyal to your fears? Are you being loyal to stubbornness? Are you being loyal to your addictions? Are you being loyal to negative habits that make you feel good but don't add value to your life in any other way? Yeah, it may feel good to drink. It may feel good to smoke. It may feel good to eat all the processed foods, but after you drink, how does it feel the next day? After you smoke, are you motivated to, again, it depends on what your bad habits are, right? It's going to resonate for each of you differently, but do you feel motivated to do anything after you put yourself in that space? Do you have a clear sense of mind after you put yourself in that space? After you eat those processed foods, do you feel the energy to get up and go work out? After you eat those processed foods, do you feel healthy enough to do anything? Or does it make you feel tired? Does it make you feel drained? Does it make you have brain fog, right? So again, what is it that you're staying loyal to? Are you staying loyal to the things to the spark? Or are you staying loyal to the consistent burn, right? The things that are feeding you ultimately, the things that are ultimately protecting you, right? So definitely creating opportunities in ways in which you can be more aware of how to protect yourself, how to put yourself in that safe space, right? And again, a safe space does not mean that you are remaining comfortable in an area in which you aren't growing. A safe space just means that you feel comfortable, you feel secure within the guidance you are receiving because you feel protected in knowing that you're being led in the right direction, because you have that sense of clarity from eating healthy foods. You have that sense of clarity because you know that the people around you wouldn't tell you anything out of jealousy. They wouldn't tell you anything that would hinder your growth, right? The people around you would be supportive. They would tell you what habits you need to cut out in order to get to the place in which you're desiring to achieve, right? So again, being mindful of or creating opportunities so that you can be mindful of what it is that you're being loyal to. What is it that you're trusting in? Are you trusting in the spark to get you where you're going? Or are you trusting in that firm flame that provides pure clarity, right? Because again, that spark is going to create illusions because you're only getting a glimpse of what is the truth, right? So one card for what we can meditate on as the focus of this message. High risk, longing for home, homesick for the stars, and big picture thinking. This is the flame that shows you the guidance and the path to which you are desiring to achieve, right? This is the big picture, right? So meditating on what makes you feel safe, what makes you feel secure, what brings you peace, what makes you feel grounded, right? So that you have that sense of clarity, right? Because if you're always on the go, you never have a moment to really process the reality around you. So you never really have a clear mindset in knowing which path to take, right? Because again, you're not giving yourself time to process. You're not grounding yourself. You're not meditating on the things, on the vision in which you're trying to achieve. You're just doing, right? You're just pouring into things and seeing what comes of what, versus sitting down, meditating, viewing the vision, looking at all the aspects in which it's going to take, looking at all the different pathways in which are possible, looking at all the possible outcomes that you are able to receive from this sense of groundedness, right? And being able to make calculated steps so that you are able to guide yourself accurately in the direction in which you're trying to go, right? That consistent flame, right? So meditating on what energy are you existing in? Are you existing in the energy of a spark, or are you existing within the energy of a consistent flame, right? So definitely meditating on your vision, meditating on your plan, meditating on the specific pathway, meditating on your journey, meditating on how you're going to get there, and also all of the things that are going to affect that journey, right? And how you get there and how clear that vision is, right? Because again, if you are working towards a certain thing, but your mindset doesn't contribute to that vision, your habits don't contribute to that vision, the environments that you place yourself in don't contribute to that vision, the people that you surround yourself with don't contribute to that vision, are you really working towards that vision? Meditate on that. What cycles and habits can we innovate surrounding this message? Forge, don't follow. Baby steps, follow your intuition. I'm not making this stuff up. This is what it is. This is what it is. Are you contributing to your own demise, or are you contributing to your own growth? Right? Be the leader you wish you had. So again, place yourself around those environments that are contributing to the vision in which you are desiring to achieve. Place yourself within those habits that contribute to the lifestyle in which you're looking to live. Place yourself in those environments, around those certain relationships, again, that feed the vision, right? So if you are looking to become someone who is a business owner, or someone who is very successful within their career path, but no one around you has a consistent job, no one around you has a consistent source of income, no one around you has a driven mindset in which they are motivated to achieve and acquire more within that specific level of success, how do you think that you're going to get there, right? Those people are only going to encourage you or discourage you, right? Because they're only going to be able to feed you with the resources that they have, right? They don't have the drive to reach a certain level of success within their career. They don't have the mindset, right? Because they exist within their fears in which they receive is success, right? So again, if you wish to exist within the family, but everybody around you does not desire to have a family, right? They're going to discourage you from receiving that because they don't perceive that as success, even if you do, right? So when you are trying to take steps forward, they're going to pull you back, right? So again, mindsets, right? If you're desiring to go to the gym every day, or you're desiring to eat healthier, but every time you turn around, your friends or your family or the people around you are asking you to go out to eat, how are you going to exist within that healthy lifestyle if you are only desiring to eat specific greens and they're taking you to a pork steakhouse or whatever, right? A beef steakhouse, whatever, a steakhouse in general, right? Again, you have to surround yourself in which the environment you are desiring to achieve, right? So again, certain mindsets. And that, again, that doesn't have to mean other people, but you yourself. Are you contributing to your own unhealthy mindsets? Are you strong enough to say, even though I'm craving McDonald's, I'm going to eat a salad? Or even though I'm craving McDonald's, I can make something healthier at home, right? It's you yourself that you have to be responsible for. It's you yourself that has to create the cycles in which you're looking to exist in, right? But that is the message that I have for you guys. I hope that it resonated. I know that this was a little bit of a longer message. It wasn't intended to be, but I guess that is what needed to come out. So I know that if you made it to the end of this message, you have found something in it that is worthy and valuable to you. Have a good one. Bye.